The Gina and Maddie podcast.
Andrew Garfield. Does that name mean anything to you?
Not really, no.
Okay, so Andrew Garfield, he was Spider-Man in between Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland.
Yes.
He was also in The Social Network. Very charming English actor. He was also in a great Disney Plus series called Under the Banner of Heaven, which was a true story about the Mormon religion in Salt Lake City in Utah, and he played a copper. Great show if anyone's interested. But he is on the promo tour. He's got a new movie coming out called We Live in a Time. He did a Chicken Shop Date with Amelia, which is a huge online show where she sits down in a chicken shop and has a date. Sit there and they eat and they talk. She's spoken to the likes of Shania Twain, Jennifer Lawrence, Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter, the Jonas Brothers. Over the weekend, clips of her interview with Andrew Garfield was doing the rounds, and it's very, very flirty, and there's a lot of chemistry between those two, which they had on a red carpet about a year ago. And then Andrew was like, I think this could have worked as a real date. Like, I think if you'd asked me to do this without the cameras, I think we could have had something. And she's like, well, you got my phone number. He's like, oh, do I? Yeah, you asked for it at a party. Anyway, it's phenomenal. It's really, it's like...
And he's single now too, right?
He's very recently single. He's broken up with the doctor. Very recently single. So I thought that would be the one Andrew Garfield clip that I'll probably be playing on the radio today to have a bit of a laugh. But yesterday, this popped up in my algorithm, and I didn't really have it on my bingo card for this year. Andrew Garfield talking to Elmo about grief. I've watched it a few times. Each time it's made me highly emotional. It's phenomenal. Teaching children and us adults, let's be honest, language for grief and what it means to hold space for people coping with loss. Now, this could be tricky if you are dealing with a little bit of loss in your life, but it's also very sweet. So this is Andrew Garfield on Sesame Street talking to Elmo about grief.
Mr. Andrew?
Hey.
Hi. Elmo's going around Sesame Street checking in on everybody. So Elmo wants to know how Andrew's doing.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you, Elmo. You have no idea.
Elmo's happy to see you, too.
I'm doing okay, you know.
Yeah? Well, what's going on?
Oh, I don't know. You sure you want to listen?
Oh, Elmo would love to listen.
Oh. I'm just thinking about my mom today. You know, she passed away not too long ago. And, you know, I just miss her a lot.
Oh, Elmo's really sorry to hear that, Mr. Andrew.
Oh, no, it's okay. You don't have to say sorry. It's actually kind of okay to miss somebody.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
You know, Elmo always feels really sad when he misses somebody.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. But, you know, that sadness, it's kind of a gift. It's kind of a lovely thing to feel, in a way, because it means you really loved somebody when you miss them. And when I miss someone, I remember, when I miss my mom, I remember all of the cuddles I used to get from her, all of the hugs I used to get from her. Yeah, just like that. And it makes me feel close to her when I miss her in a strange way. So I'm happy to have all the memories of my mum and the joy she brought me and the joy she brought my brother and my dad and everyone she ever met, everyone around her. So when I miss her, I remember it's because she made me so happy. So I can celebrate her and I can miss her at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elmo really loves that, Andrew.
Elmo really listens really well.
But Elmo wants to know how people are doing, and Elmo's very happy that you shared that with him. And you know what? Elmo's going to think about and celebrate your mommy, too.
Oh, Elmo. You know what? Nothing would make me happier, and nothing would make her happy, because you know what? I've got to tell you something. I've got to tell you a secret.
What?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Elmo was my mummy's favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Elmo needs a hug for that. Elmo loves you, Andrew.
I love you so much, Elmo, and I always have. I always will.
Yeah. And you know what? We're going to celebrate all the important and special people that you miss, too.
That's right. Each and every day, all together.
Sesame Street, knocking it out of the park once again. How good is that?
That's so good.
Yeah, you can get around that. You find that anywhere online right now. Just search for Andrew Garfield with Elmo.
Gina and Maddie.
All right, G is going to run us through what's happening in the glossies.
Well, Ringo Starr has made a bold comparison between Taylor Swift and the Beatles. So he recently praised Taylor, comparing her cultural influence to that of the Beatles during Beatlemania. Do you reckon? Like, is she as...
Oh, gosh.
Because she's very popular, but if you think the Beatles, the Beatlemania thing, they had no social media. And every person back then, I assume, knew their name. No matter how old you were, the older generation didn't like them, but they knew who they were.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to compare generation to generation like that. I think about that obviously I go to a sporting term where I go, like, you're trying to compare cricket teams from, say, the 40s to a cricket team now.
Yeah.
Like, the pitches were very different. The conditions were also...
better shoes.
The variables were all are completely different.
Yeah.
But the Beatles have had, like, 20 number one hits in the US, I think, and I think Taylor's at 13. Beatles were only around for... 8 years?
Yeah.
Taylor's 18 years, so longevity-wise, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I was thinking, she has definitely influenced fashion. So did they.
Yeah.
I mean, haircuts and what they wore. So,
but if
I think
anyone
it's definitely...
can make the comparison for Taylor to be like the Beatles, is one of the Beatles themselves.
Exactly. So, I see what he's saying. Now, apparently fresh off the press... Jennifer Lawrence, famous for being in the Hunger Games, is pregnant with her second child. She already has a little 2-year-old named Sai. Isn't that a cute name? Sai, C-Y.
S-A-I, or how's she spelling it? Oh, C-Y. She's spelling it.
C-Y.
Oh, right.
Isn't
I love
that cute? So congratulations. Now, postponed tours. We were talking about this on Friday, about tours being postponed, mine being one of them on the weekend. But Pink has just announced that her 4 upcoming concerts in Milwaukee and all over, reasons beyond her control, she's cancelling. Now, I think fans have spent a lot of money getting their accom, buying the tickets and stuff, and she hasn't come out with the reason. She just said, reasons beyond my control. There's been not really an excuse to tell the fans why she cancelled.
But she did say the tickets would be valid, so they can still, so they're not losing any money on the tickets, so she is going to redo them.
No, but, they do accom and they do flights and all that kind of stuff. But, so for me, I mean, I don't compare myself at all, but our tour got cancelled on Wednesday, as I told you. Tour was just one festival. We haven't put out a reason because it was the promoter. It wasn't us. But the fans might be thinking, Gina Jeffries cancelled the show, or Lee Kernigan cancelled the show. We didn't. It was the promoter. So, and that was completely out of our hands. And you don't necessarily want to throw them under the bus and say that. So maybe, I don't know. I have no idea why she's cancelled, but it's good. The tickets are still going to be valid when she comes back. Zayn Malik has postponed the US leg of his Stairway to the Sky tour following the heartbreak loss of his former One Direction bandmate Liam Payne, who died at 31 after falling from a hotel balcony, as we know, in Argentina last week. He was set to begin a US tour next week and decided to delay the shows out of respect, announcing that the new dates will be rescheduled for January with tickets remaining valid. I can understand that. That would be very hard for him to get up and do a show now. That's a good call. And I think it'd be heartbreaking for the fans as well. I think the fans would be beside themselves. So that's a very good reason to cancel the show.
A lot of outpouring of emotion over the weekend over the Liam Payne passing. It's the mother of his son, Cheryl Cole, put a statement out on Instagram, which was really sad. He's got a little boy, Bear, and just sort of urging people who are talking about it and writing about it to, have a bit of a heart and go, this guy might have been a celebrity, but it doesn't mean he wasn't a human. And maybe think about his son and what he's going to read in time. She's like, I can't protect him from it forever, but just if you are going to write things, just know that he has got a young boy who will be reading these things one day.
Well done to her to say that.
Sad.
It's awful.
Yeah,
and look, a little change of direction here. Jamie Lee Curtis is retiring from Halloween. Now, coming up today, I'm going to talk to you about costumes and what to wear and what not to wear. But Jamie Lee Curtis has officially announced that she's not going to put her pumpkins out because they take it so much more seriously in America than we do here, don't they?
I think she's actually retiring from the movie Halloween. Movie franchise.
She said her kids are all grown up and she doesn't want to partake in Halloween anymore.
Gina and Maddie.
Okay, these are some jobs I thought I'd bring up, and maybe people listening to will remember some of these jobs, or they might have done some of these jobs that no longer exist. And then, Maddie, I've asked AI to tell me some future jobs.
AI is the hardest working member on this team, I reckon.
Definitely.
Seriously.
So I said, what are some jobs that haven't been invented yet? Okay. But first of all, switchboard operators. When you're watching old movies and they go, hello, how can I help you? And then they've got the actual switches that they move. That's gone, obviously. A lamplighter. You see this in lots of old movies where they walk around and light and extinguish street lamps. Remember those days before electricity? I'm not saying do you remember them, but I remember seeing it in a movie. That job's gone. Here's one, a knocker-upper. This is people who used to wake people up by tapping on their windows with a long stick.
Oh, yep, okay.
That was
before
job.
Alarms? Alarms?
Yes.
Okay.
Town crier, we know about that one. Ice cutter. So there were people that used to...
A few of those up here, isn't there?
Moving right along. Whale oil lamp keeper. They maintain the lamps. That's all gone for nighttime. A typist. At school, did you learn to? I literally learnt to type on a typewriter at school. They were gone pretty quickly after that, but there was typewriters in the. I can't remember what they called that. I don't know, business studies or something where you learnt to type.
We had to learn how to touch type in computer studies.
Yeah. Well, I think I might have been the last year or whatever, but actual typewriter. You know what I used to love when Jackie was little? I used to sit on him, hold him down and play the typewriter game. Ding across the head, gently. What, film projectionists? People that used to operate films, you know, that when
aren't they still happening at the movies?
I think it's all digital now.
Oh, right.
And a draftsman. There's still draftsmen around, but here...
My old man was a printer, and I try and explain that to my children and these other guys, and they're like, what, a printer? Like you have with the computer? I'm like, no. It's like he was a linotype operator, which would set the type, would then turn into the text that would be on the newspapers. So he'd have to set every little bit, and then it would... Anyway, yeah.
Imagine if CJ had that job and all the typos that'd be...
Don't blame her. Blame ChatGPT by the sounds of it.
And here's some that ChatGPT told me jobs that don't exist yet. So there's things like an AI ethicist, I don't know, professionals who ensure that artificial intelligence systems operate ethically and fairly. That's a job that's coming up, which we need. There's a space tourism guide. Someone who takes you into space, that's going to come.
Richard Branson, isn't it?
That's him so far. A personal data broker. These are individuals who help clients manage, sell or protect their personal data. Now, we need that for sure. Urban agricultural specialist, formerly known as farmers.
They're getting fancier titles.
Well, that's vertical farms and like looking after like fresh produce in cities and stuff in urban areas. There's all kinds of. Oh, this one is a good one. Mm-hmm. A drone traffic controller. Imagine that. You're just driving a little drone and you're controlling the traffic from above.
So you're going to be wearing white gloves and standing there in the middle with a whistle?
Yeah.
Directing drones? Yeah. Or is that going to be a computer operated
thing?
No,
a computer thing is actually having directing drones. They're going to have to come up with that. This is incredible, I reckon. What about this one? I need this one. Not as badly as you two. Digital detox consultant.
If we did a digital detox on the show, there'd be no content. There'd be zero content.
The Gina and Maddie Podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.